Welcome to Mystically Me, a place to connect to your higher self, your intuition. This is a space for anyone who knows there's more to life. They know that they're seeking something deeper. And anyone who's curious about spiritual tools or practices, this is also a place for you to learn. So please put any questions you have about any of that in the chat, or if there's any types of oracle or tarot you'd like me to use, go ahead and drop those in the comments as well. Thank you for listening, and let's see what wants to come through today. I hope everyone's having a beautiful day. We're getting close to the solstice, so hopefully you have planned some sort of ritual for yourself to mark that transition as we head into summer. All right, let's see. First card to come up is the Midas Touch, which is card 11. In the major arcana. Then we have the Ace of Hearts. Oh, beautiful. All right. So, and another major arcana card, Mother Goose number 3, which is like the Empress card. So, one thing with like tarot and things like that, they always say is when you are getting a lot of the major arcana cards, it usually means you are going through a major life transition. So, let's see here. Okay, so what I'm feeling, what's coming through with these messages right now, the story of Midas Touch is kind of, that king gets so greedy, he turns his own child into gold. So, there's always a lesson with that one. And that one, let's see, number 11 is like, oh my gosh, what is that card? Okay, it's not coming to the top of my head right now. So anyway, in this card, we have a king, and he has turned his daughter into gold, and he's just, got this look of like, oh my God, what did I do? So let's see here. So I feel what's been going on, what this is trying to say is, for a group of you listening, you've kind of come to the realization recently that maybe you're living a life that's focused maybe too much on possessions or superficial things. Like it got to the point where the good things in your life, were feeling like, I don't want to say it was not like they were monetized, but like you were no longer able to find the joy in the simple things in life and got really focused on earning or creating wealth, which is, totally like that's what we have to pay bills. We're here to, we all want to live a bigger life than I feel like we're living. So sometimes we get caught up in that, making money and just focused on that. But what I feel is whoever this is, you kind of realize that and have pulled yourself out of that kind of thinking, like release some of those material, superficial things you were holding on to in life, which has just led to this explosion. I mean, the Ace of Hearts has 2 beautiful mermaids holding up a giant heart with wings. So the Ace of Hearts is a beautiful card about love. So there's just so much pouring into your life right now, or is about to be. And that is because, and I do feel like I'm speaking to a divine feminine here, or, realize that we have masculine and feminine in everyone, regardless of gender. So so either how this is coming out is either someone has saw the error of their ways and realized that they don't want this superficial life. Like even the things closest to them were about money and that's not who they are inside. So if you've had that realization or coming to that realization, whenever you do, or if you have, your life is going to explode with beautiful love. And that's because with this Empress, this Mother Goose card, you're embodying your divine feminine qualities. You're embodying, the higher essence of yourself, your higher self. And if you're still going through it, it's tough. If you are in the United States, people always ask me what my culture is. And I was like, well, I was born in the United States and my family didn't really, didn't have any traditions or I don't know, any community within itself. Oh my goodness, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. So people would ask and I would say, oh, well, it's America materialism, which I don't buy into. I know that's not a culture, but that definitely feels like if you have been in the United States ever, or you're growing up here, it's all about how much money you have, how much money you're going to make, what stuff do you have? And, for those of us that don't care about stuff like that, like, don't get me wrong. My dad always used to say, I have a caviar taste on a hamburger budget. But, just for some of us out there, we don't really buy into that. And like I wouldn't know brands if I saw them on somebody. Unless it said the brand name, obviously. So yeah, it's just different. And it's a hard world to grow up in and exist in when you really don't care about stuff like that. And you're always kind of like, where are my soul people at? Like, where are the people that, operate through their heart and soul and not so much through their mind and what they have. So I just keep doing what you're doing. Like, you are coming through this time of like letting go what you don't need, whether it's materialistic, whether it's just superficial relationships that aren't satisfying to your heart and soul, because sometimes they just aren't. Let's see. So yeah. And then this has been coming up a little bit. So maybe for someone out there or some of you listening that there's new love on the horizon, or maybe you've just gotten to a place within yourself where the types of relationships coming into your life are actually healthy, loving relationships that you deserve, and not an imbalance where you're either paying more of the bills or you're not getting enough, attention, like love and attention, hugs, kisses, those kind of things. So maybe, finally having a partner that listens, because you deserve it all. It shouldn't just be one or the other. I also feel another message coming through with these cards is like, the universal love of society, like the love of all, how we are all one. So just keep doing it. And congratulations for like stepping more into yourself. Let me get some water. Hold on. If you hear the ice. When you've lived a certain way for a long time, it can be really difficult to change, especially, um, I don't want to say the older you get, the harder it is to change, because I don't really think that's true. I think that's something we say. But it can, sometimes when you make these changes later in life, you have something set up for a long time. You're in a friend group, you are in a career, you have a routine. And sometimes you realize, whoa, yes, I have this routine and everything's kind of safe and moving along and fine, but my soul is not like alive in this. Like, I want more, and it's okay. And I'm glad you're here, because connecting to your higher guidance, connecting to your intuition, that's how you start bringing them more into your life. The more authentically you live as you. A course I've been taking has talked about being unapologetically, authentically yourself. And I really like that. I mean, it's kind of a long phrase, but it is, it's hard to do, but if you do, and it's crazy. When I was a kid, my dad, he was not spiritual at all. Well, I didn't think so. He didn't like it. Like, not that he didn't like any of the stuff I got into. He just, dismissed it. But he told me from a very young age, to thine own self be true. And, it comes out a lot of different ways. I think that might have been Plato, know thyself. That's the thing. Like, knowing who you really are and then living your life as who you really are without worrying about what other people think. And this is not easy. Not easy. At 45, I finally have mostly stopped caring what other people think. Sometimes it still comes up. But those are my own past issues with abandonment from adoption and just different things that happen throughout life. So, you are moving in the right direction. You are making great changes in your life. And, the guidance from above just wants you to keep going. You are making beautiful changes. Even if you feel like they're small and not big enough, the fact is you're making movement towards who you want to be, who you truly are. And that's all that matters. You've got to celebrate the little wins, the small steps, as well as the big ones. We tend to forget about celebrating the little things. And it's important because sometimes, there's a little bit of time in between those big things to celebrate. So you got to keep focused on what you are doing and what you are changing, no matter how big or small. So good job. And then, me, I want to add them up. So 11 plus 1. Ooh, 1, 1. 1. Okay. Ooh, I like it. So if we look at the card, it's 11. So the one thing about these inner child cards is on the major arcana cards, they use the Roman numerals. So we have 11 and then 1 and then 3. So if I'm looking at the 3, it's just got the 3 lines on the top. And then, of course, the 1 for aces. Then when I think of 11, so I'm like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, even though it's technically 11, 1, 3. But just the way I'm seeing it, I saw those ones. So for those of you into numbers, there are numbers they can I guess collectively they're known as angel numbers. Those are the like 111, 222, 333. So 111 is a pretty powerful, like if you see 1111 on the clock or 111, it's a reminder that you are a powerful manifesting being and your thoughts have power. So whenever I see 11111 or that number, I make sure I've got a positive thought and then I like to make a wish. I know other people do that, but really it's just aligning with the frequency of your highest self to help everything kind of get on track in life. So, plus those major arcana cards. This is a major time for someone. You are going through some major changes, and I don't feel like there's no negative energy here. It's very like, this is a big change. It feels good. You're excited, like really excited. I don't feel, whoever this is for, I don't feel any like doubt anymore. So if this is for you, I don't feel the doubt. I don't think you feel the doubt. You go ahead and do what you have to do because it's going to make beautiful things open up. Like releasing this tie to materialism, money opens up the purest form of love, and just pulls you into your divine feminine goddess empress self. So beautiful. Let's see what wants to come through with our sacred geometry cards for you all today. So, energy, if you're listening to this a year from now, there's a message for it in it, a message for you in it. That's how I feel with energy. There is no time. So it might not be the day I post this, but you will find something in it for you. So, take that. Also, if you would like readings to be more specific, if you could drop a comment or subscribe or like, it kind of allows your energy. It's kind of like a energetic consent to help me tune into messages for you more openly, like more freely. I do feel even energetically, consent's a big thing. Like Reiki, if you are familiar with any energetic body work, Reiki is something. I'm a Reiki master teacher for over 20 years. But even when you do like distant Reiki on someone, you need permission, consent. You just can't be sending energy out to people because it does affect them. So it affects everything, your thoughts, your feelings. It's very hard to understand that, but once you do, okay, let's see. Oh, okay. We've got loving the words today. Dodecahedron. I probably did not pronounce that correct. Ooh, nucleus. And third, the fruit of life. Okay, so for my numbers, people, we got 57. That's the dodecahedron, which I don't know if I'm saying correct. Sorry, I dropped that card. Then we've got the nucleus card. I know I said that correct. That's number 42. And then the fruit of life. So let's start with this. Let's see. Hold on. Give me a second. Get some water. See what message is coming through for you beautiful people today. Oh, I just felt like I had to stop and take a really deep breath. So I feel like for someone, maybe you've been getting into different like mindfulness with breathing, or you've been struggling with your breath. I don't know, asthma. I don't actually, huh. Okay, what I'm feeling here, I feel like a lump almost in my throat, like someone has something to say and they're not saying it, or you're afraid to say it. Okay, so what's coming through is, first of all, whoever this is for, be a little bit easier on yourself. You're really blaming yourself, accusing yourself, just really negatively like attacking yourself and your thoughts right now. Please stop. You have to remember whatever you think you did that was bad or wrong, we are making decisions in the moment with the information we have and doing the best we can. And, later on, sometimes in hindsight, turns out we didn't make the best choice for us in that moment, but you can't change that moment, but you can forgive yourself. And if you're worried about forgiveness from another person, I mean, you're going to have to reach out if you want to know where they're at. I can't read their mind. And the only way you're going to know is if you reach out. And then two things will happen. They might not want to talk to you and you'll have to deal with how that feels. Or maybe they'll accept your apology, accept you back into their life. But you have to reach out. It's not on them. They are not going to. I feel like for this situation, whatever it might be, they said what they had to say to you. Maybe not fully, but they made it pretty clear. And you basically shut the door on them. So go ahead. If you've realized you've made a mistake, you're going to have the courage to step up. Okay, that was like a very specific message, I feel, for a very specific person that their own higher guidance wanted to get to them. So hopefully that was received, and let's get back into what these cards are telling us. Okay. So wait, did I say, 42's nucleus? Oh, sorry. And then the fruit of life. That's such a beautiful card. So the fruit of life is one of those kind of core, I feel, sacred geometry symbols that are out there. All right. So with our dodecahedron, hopefully I said that correct. I believe, is that the 20-sided dice? Maybe not 20-sided. I don't know, maybe 10. Anyway, that one is about divine thought. So I feel like these kind of connect with our inner child reading. Like well, not the one from today so much, maybe with the divine feminine part, but the reason you're here, the reason you're listening is you are trying to get connected to your higher self. You want to connect more deeply with your intuition. You just want to feel more in alignment with your soul. So breathing, connecting to your breath is important for whoever this is for. Also, the realization of the kind of universality of oneness, how we are all one, or maybe some research into that topic. Sometimes just reading a little bit can open up so much that you kind of already knew within you, like a divine remembrance, I feel, a soul remembrance comes through, which is awesome. Okay, so when we have the nucleus, it's talking about issues, like core issues. So a lot of times I think this has to do with like you have been let me see here. Okay. You've been connecting. Give me just a second to sift through what's all coming in. There's a lot of messages coming in at once. Okay. So it's interesting. The card that represents core issues is in the center. So you have been, for whoever I'm speaking to, the group of you, I do feel like there's a bunch of us who are kind of like going through this, like, I'm getting rid of all these like childhood trauma things that I am bringing into my future, like little things that I didn't even know. Some of my other work is involved with inner child stuff, and we just don't realize how something that happened so long ago and our adult mind has rationalized it away or accepted we can't change it and thought, oh, I've dealt with that, I'm fine. But the thing is children don't rationalize like that. They get hurt when you're little, your feelings get hurt, you get mad, you have that emotion. And just rationalizing it away even 40 years later doesn't change the mad little kid inside you. So I feel like who this message is for, you have been recognizing, which is the first step. And if you're just in that recognition, be proud of yourself. Give yourself some credit for recognizing that there are still things affecting you. And now you are, moving forward to make some changes. So one thing with this divine thought card coming in, taking time to be with yourself. I know when I say meditation, it freaks some people out. You have to find out what works for you. For some people, when you're at the gym, lost in your workout with your music on, you are actually doing some meditation. You might not realize it. You might be going through thoughts. Sometimes try to come to a no thought. Just let the thoughts pass. It used to stress me out when I was first starting this. Like, oh my gosh, I have so many thoughts. They never stop. Because they don't. But you just kind of like don't attach to them. Just let them pass by. Because for some of us, I have 80 tabs on any given open window. So, eradicating the thoughts can be hard. I started with guided meditations because they kind of give your mind something to focus on. And there are lots of those on YouTube. If you need help, like that's a thing. Please, if you have any questions, reach out in the comments. I can help find you some resources to, that align with what you want and what you're looking for. So, okay, let's keep going with this. Let me get some water. Ooh, okay. I splashed water on my face. That was funny. Okay, so the fruit of life. I would love if you are curious about sacred geometry at all, please look that up because it's very cool. So the fruit of life is all about abundance. You've done the work, you put in the time. It's the flower of life, sacred geometry symbol with 13 circles on it. So just remember, I've not been super religious. My parents, we went to church sometimes, but I've always, as a kid, studied all the religions. Definitely am spiritual. So there's this saying, as you give, so you receive. As above, so below. But anyway, as you give, so you receive. So as you are coming in, because you're coming in to a greater place of abundance in your life, it's unavoidable as you become your more authentic self. You just can't stop the gifts life wants to give to you when you are living authentically, unapologetically as yourself. So this is another really, I feel like some of the readings, some of these videos have not been negative, but the messages have been for people who are really going through something intense. And I feel like we're kind of on the other side of that right now because it's like the cards coming out today. Not that the other ones were bad, but just have such a okay, you've done the work, you're making it through the hard part, you're realizing what you need to do, things you need to release from the past. The fact that you need to find some meditation, mindfulness practices in this world. I finally have a morning and evening routine, not like a super specific routine, but every morning before I leave bed, I'm doing mindfulness, and every night when I get into bed. So you can find what works for you. But that by recognizing and releasing the past, finding that state, that place within yourself of silence, of truth, that place where you can connect to your higher self, your intuition. Once you do that, the abundance of your life is just unavoidable, undeniable. Things will be coming in. You'll be receiving so much. It's going to be beautiful, but you have to remember when we start receiving, we also have to share. It is, wealth is not meant to be held on to. Wealth is meant to be circulated and shared. That's its purpose. It's it's a currency. It's meant to move through life. The people who are hoarding it are part of our problem. We don't need any billionaires. There's just my personal opinion on that one. So, okay, I think we're done with the sacred geometry. I have another deck. Like I told you, I have a ton of them. So if there's any subjects you're really into, like you love fairies and want to hear some cards pulled from a fairy deck, I have that. I mean, you just got to let me know so I can bring messages through for you in a way that, resonate. Okay, so this deck is called Future Higher Self Oracle deck. It has no book. For those of you that are, think the book is intimidating, it's just messages on a card. Okay, so first one, you aren't done. You're just getting started. Yeah, I think that should definitely resonate for someone out there, for some of you. Yes, you have done some amazing work on yourself, but you can see this is just opened up a whole new timeline of your life. It's just everything. It's amazing. You're not, but this, it's not getting started, oh, I have work to do. I have to get started. It's pure excitement and joy. Finally, I get to be started on my real life, the existence that I'm meant to live, not the one I settled for or resigned myself to, or, just didn't think I deserved more. All right. 2 more cards hopped out. Thank you, cards, okay. Nice. So here we go. You are never lost, but only forging a path to new worlds. And don't dwell on what might be on the other side of that closed door. Okay, so for someone, this is not a character judgment call in any way, because I also suffer from not letting go of stuff sometimes that is, definitely a closed door. So if you are someone who is still stuck on something that didn't happen the way it's supposed to be, that didn't happen how you wanted it to be, you have to figure out what works for you to release it. But, one simple thing I've done throughout life, journal out, write out on a piece of paper, everything you wanted to say to what's on the side of this other side of the closed door, write out all your unfulfilled wishes that didn't happen from it, whatever you need to get out about this, and then rip it up. Rip it up is the safest way. Sometimes I will burn them as long as I have a bowl of water right by and I'm being very smart about it and it's not out in nature. I'm not starting any fires or anything. So, right now you're giving a lot of energy to something that is not, even it's not where your life is supposed to be. It's not who you're supposed to be with. It's not the job you're supposed to have. And you know this, but you still are holding on to some things. So just figure out a way to release it. Create a little releasing ceremony for yourself. There's just so many different ways to just stop ruminating on it. Get it out of your head. Scream it into a pillow. Whatever you need to do. If you have a vehicle, when you're driving, roll down the window and scream it out the window. That can be very liberating. So just, you have an abundant, brighter, beautiful, amazing future. Stop giving energy to the thing in the past that doesn't bring you passion, isn't the right fit. Just, isn't it? And, also this lost. Sometimes when you are, stepping into your bigger, greater life or making radical changes to your current life, you can feel lost, but you never are. You're finding your way back to yourself. And that is the most beautiful thing we can do in this life is live as our authentic selves, share our gifts, our presence as our authentic self. Okay, I do feel like we are going to wrap up with one more card from the Universe Has Your Back deck. All right. So just so much has come through with this reading, I feel, but so much positive. Give yourself credit, celebrate your small wins, realizing that all of this release from the past, release of material things, just releasing the things that aren't you, your authentic you, might feel a little disorientating. That's a word, but you're going to make it through just fine. You're already on the other side. And then the card to end this reading, sorry. Oh, this is perfect. I recognize that I have chosen fear and I choose again. I choose love. So just remember in every moment, you can choose love. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. Thank you for listening.